Hello friends, welcome back to Align Plans, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about time blocking, and I have 3 different ways that you can use this brand new insert from Cloth and Paper. So if you have the insert or you wanted to kind of get into time blocking and you're kind of bored with the system, then I think that this video is going to be for you. And of course, if you are brand new, hello, how are you? My name is Meshi and I am the person behind Align Plans here. And we talk about anything and everything minimalist planning on this channel. So basically, the idea here is that you learn how to use productivity, how you can use these minimalist tools in the most intentional way, so they're not just collecting dust. So let's talk about time blocking for just a moment. But before we do, grab your beverage. Today's beverage is actually an oat. Is it an oat and honey? It's an oat hazelnut latte with a little bit of cinnamon sprinkled on top, and I believe that even the beans are new. The beans are like this chocolatey caramel specialty beans from one of our local shops. Anyway, it's divine. Go and grab your beverage and let's get right into time blocking and productivity hacks. I'm going to share with you 3 different ways that you can use these inserts. Let's talk about the idea of time blocking and why you would consider doing that. And honestly, a lot of it kind of goes back into productivity and understanding how much information your brain can handle at any given time and how long you can actually maintain focus for extended periods of time. So like the idea behind time blocking is nothing new. However, I think that sometimes we tend to like fall off the bandwagon a little bit because we're not really using time blocking effectively. So the way most people tend to think of time blocking is you're literally using the full time sheet that's available and you're just kind of marking down any activities that you have going on. And now that's absolutely, like, you can totally do that if you want to, but if you're looking to, these tips are going to be specific if you wanted to actually effectively use your time where you're maximizing when your mind works the most, when it's the most malleable, right? But you're also honoring when your mind actually needs a little bit of rest, so then you're kind of taking breaks effectively. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of talk to you about is actually the layout of this page. So I have the time blocking page, the empty insert here. If you're not familiar with this insert, this was in the last sub box that we have received in the June box, and most people have been raving about this insert. It's really functional. It's all about helping you become a lot more productive, a lot more effective with your time, a lot more aware of where you need to kind of play around with your time available, and then how to kind of block time for things that are really important to you. So like we kind of all understand that, but here's the thing. I think that the way most people will end up using this insert is they create a key at the very top here, and then they end up kind of just like blocking off time. And I mean, I'm gonna see if I have the insert here. So the way that I have used it here, so this is a perfect example where I would literally just block off time for specific things. And then here at the top, I would have maybe my ongoing to-do list, maybe yes, maybe no, but you definitely have space for that. So the first way that I would recommend using this is if you're super short on time. Let's say you only have like maybe 5 minutes tops to actually enter everything in. You're not getting into like this large planning session. None of those things are happening. You literally have 5 minutes. So creating a key is going to be really, really helpful. You can use either, and I will show you a couple of different options here. So you can either use your highlighters, your mild liners, your Tombow pens, or you can use your dot markers. Because it's not necessary that you literally block off the time, but it's necessary that you create a color-coded system that makes sense to you. So these are just some of the options. Anyway, create a color-coded category here. So some of the categories could be like family, work, health, personal development. Those are just some basics. Once you created your categories, then you can kind of start blocking them off. And then that's pretty much kind of where you stop. Now, let's say that you wanted to take this a step further, still within the same system. you can actually go a little bit further and write in the specific tasks and then color code those tasks and then mark them down here. So that's another way that you can kind of do that. That obviously will take you a little bit longer, but then you can get specific, especially if you have things that are really specific to that week. That's when you would want to do that. Now, a second way that you can use the same insert is, you have probably seen this, and I will show you a sample of this. So you have like these routine cards. I just have one blank one here. So it just says routines on it, and then you have like 5 different categories. So the way that you would create routines, so think of this as like, now we're gonna be taking what you would put here on a very micro level, right? Like morning routine, skincare routine, whatever. You would take that same category or that same concept and you will create routines, or you will create subcategories that are going to come here in the key. So your categories are going to be the subcategories that you create. Okay, so the same way that you would create your routines, those are going to be coming here as categories. So instead of calling them like family or health or personal development, you would literally create a subcategory that would be like you working on your side hustle. So anything that would require side hustle, or anything like, for me, it would be like YouTube. Anything and everything YouTube related, it will be within that same subcategory. So that would be like filming, editing, it would be like creating a thumbnail, it would be uploading a video, it would be promoting a video, whatever. So everything that would like go within that subcategory, you kind of get it, would kind of go into that subcategory, because that's not really personal development, it's not really personal, and it's not really business, and it's not really family, right? And because I can't really shove those into these different they would need to be a subcategory. They cannot be in any of those main categories that I would create. So instead of creating like 20 different keys, like main categories and then subcategories, maybe your spread would literally just be just that of your subcategories. And then you can create one on self-care. Self-care in and of itself can be a subcategory where, you know, like, okay, time to tap back into self-care, and that could be your skincare routine, that can be your pedicure, manicure, that can be your date night, that can be you reading, you journaling, whatever. It's whatever you enter into that subcategory, which is why it needs to be personalized and you get to create it. So you can do the exact same thing where you block off the time and then you know when to shift, but I would actually take that one step further. Take those same colors, so I would pick really basic colors that exist both on here, on like you have the marker for it, and then also digitally. So make sure that whatever colors you pick here, you end up transferring them onto your Google Calendar or onto your calendar that is digitalized, because then what ends up happening is that those same categories or those same colors end up popping up as reminders on your phone, which kind of goes for every single one of these categories that I'm kind of talking about here. Now the next way, and this is going to be my last the last thing, is to use this spread as a summer schedule. Now within the summer schedule, I have to give a quick shout out to, and let me just find it so that I can actually give proper, because I saw this and I thought that it was absolutely brilliant. I will also pop it onto the screen so that you can kind of see the pin that I'm talking about. This is from Modern Minimalism, and it was created by Elle Penner. So she created these subcategories by help, create, cook, move, learn, and build. So there are 6 subcategories, okay? So this is designed where you can use this entire weekly spread. If you don't want to use it for your normal weekly layout, you can actually just use this as a summer schedule for your children. So then under help, you can pick one thing that your kids can help you with, or you're going to be helping your kids with this. So some of the examples are like replace batteries in toys, give dirty toys a bath, sort and organize one type of toy. You get it. Cook would be like help your kids make you know, a yogurt and fruit popsicle, or a banana bread, or muffins. Something easy that they can cook, but then you can also kind of help them with it. Learn would be like reading, puzzle hunt, playing a game, doing a puzzle. I would also add doing any education-based games like Osmo would be fantastic. Create, under create, you can have like watercoloring, Play-Doh. Sensory bin. Oh my gosh, that took like an hour. You can create like a sensory bin together, and then honestly, that will probably give your kids hours of play. Move would be like a neighborhood scavenger hunt, sledding, biking, like anything outdoors that just moves their bodies. And it gives you some categories and some ideas. So, and building would be like building Legos, wood blocks, pom-pom ramp, fort, cardboard box creation. Again, you get it. You can get creative with it. But the idea here is that you basically create a subcategory, and then all you have to do is just block those specific times off. You look at a full list and then you just pick one or two. So then by the time your kids would get to that point when they're like, I'm so bored right now, and you don't want them to be in front of a screen, you can kind of just look at like, okay, you know, right now we're moving into move because you haven't really moved for a few hours. Great. These are some ideas that you can pick from, and you can give your kids a choice so that they can kind of choose at least one of them. I find that especially when I'm creating like a schedule or like plans with children that involves children, and I've done this even when I was planning for homeschooling a schedule for the week, I kept it really loose because I wanted to give them the option to choose based on how they feel at that given moment. So I've done this before where, like, let's say for a Friday, they would have, I don't know, like they would have like a scavenger hunt, but then they didn't really feel like being outdoors. So then they ended up like playing with a kinetic sand instead, or they ended up creating like an art piece instead. So that's just a little side note that if you're creating a schedule for children, add a little bit of flexibility. Don't be as rigid as you would be with your own schedule where you can kind of stick to it. Just leave a little bit of flexibility room, because a lot of the times kids actually love choosing from like 2-3 options versus having to come up with new ideas right on the spot of what they should do. Also, if you tell them ahead of time, then they end up looking forward to it. Anyway, these are some of my ideas that I have of how you can use this weekly layout. And that's basically all I wanted to share with you. I would love to know how you're planning on using this weekly layout, because you have like a huge section here, 2 little subcategories, so you have so much flexibility of making this your own beyond just your traditional. These are your weekly priorities. This is the to-do list, and these are the reminder or next week. You know what I mean? You can stick to that, but I think that you can get like really creative where it actually helps you specific to the weeks and help you become a little bit more productive, a little bit more intentional, a little bit more connected to whatever is the most important thing for you. So let me know in the comment section below of what is your #1 way that you're using this layout, if you are using it. I'm slowly getting into this. So obviously I'm not overly using this at the moment, but I really like the idea of creating the summer schedule. So maybe by the time this video comes out, I will create a layout so you can kind of see a sample of it. This is all I have for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all of the things, share it with your friends, obviously. And and just obviously follow me on Instagram if you ever want to have, if you wanted to ever get your name shouted out in any of my upcoming videos. I do my best to answer any of your questions. I usually give you guys the option to ask me any question, and so I can answer them here on the channel and any of my upcoming videos. So if you wanted to do that, then I will kind of just leave the handle here on the screen so you can follow me there as well. This is all I got for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.